Welcome to Allen Healthcare. My name is Jane Cooperman and I'm the Compliance Officer here at Allen Healthcare. I'm going to speak to you about corporate compliance today. You'll also be receiving some handouts. I'm responsible for the day-to-day compliance at Allen Healthcare. There are 3 ways to contact me. By phone, 718-657-2966, extension 1927, or using a confidential anonymous hotline, 718-689-1260, by email at corporatecompliance@allenhealth.com, and in person. You never need an appointment to meet with me. Corporate compliance is a commitment to honesty and integrity. One of the handouts describes Allen's commitment to honesty and integrity in everything that we do. We each have a role to play in this, especially in making sure that the amount we bill the government and our contracts is accurate. We bill the government and contracts based on the information that you provide to us. When you clock in and out, you have to be with the patient. And when you submit a timesheet, you have to write exactly the time you arrived and left the client's home each day. If you intentionally falsify this information, you are committing fraud, which is a criminal offense punishable by fines and imprisonment. Government inspectors and internal auditors review this information continuously. So if you intentionally falsify this information by letting someone else clock in or out for you, or by putting in wrong times or forging the patient's signature on the timesheet, your employment will be terminated immediately. Remember, someone can only clock in for you if you have left your PIN for the person to see. Someone who clocks you out also has to know how to enter tasks and which ones. So even if this happens without your knowledge, you're responsible because you made your PIN and the other information available to the patient or whoever it is clocking in or out for you. Also remember, do not leave your patient unattended. If you leave your patient unattended when you should not, this is called patient abandonment. If you leave your patient unattended, but you sign your timesheet to indicate that you were there with the patient, or you ask the patient to clock out for you, this is also considered falsification of your timesheet or fraud, as well as patient abandonment. You must not do this. Any changes you make with the patient have to go through your coordinator, and if you do these things, you will be terminated immediately. Now I have some scenarios I'd like to share with you that will describe situations you probably will find yourself in, and we'll see if you can figure out what you should do. There's 4 situations. So case 1, you're a home health aide assigned to the same patient for 2 years. Your assignment is Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 11 a.m. Your patient asks you to work on Saturday instead of Friday to help her prepare for a family function and to document on your time slip that you worked on Friday instead. You want to help your patient. What should you do? The answer is do not make changes to the schedule without permission from your supervisor. If you sign your time slip for working on a day that you did not work, that is fraud. If you leave the patient alone and unattended on a day that you were scheduled to work but don't show up, that is abandonment. Case study 2. Your patient, Mr. B, sees that you're not feeling well and tells you it's okay to leave 2 hours early, but put on your time slip that you worked the whole 4 hours. Mr. B wants you to go home, rest, and feel better, and he doesn't want you to lose income, so he'll sign your time slip for the full 4 hours. Should you do this? I think by now you know you cannot do this. Instead, you must call up your supervisor and get a replacement. If you and Mr. B signed the time slip for the full 4 hours and you only worked 2 hours, both would be breaking the law by committing fraud, and if you leave the patient unattended, this is considered abandonment. Case study 3. You agree to work 8 hours per day, 5 days per week, but things change and you can work only 6 hours per day. You don't want to lose this case, so you make a deal with a friend to cover for you for the last 2 hours each day. You only work 6 hours, but sign the time slip for the full 8 hours. You keep the money for the 6 hours you work and pay your friend privately for 2 hours she works. What's wrong with this? The answer is you and your friend are breaking the law by following the time slip. You are committing fraud. You would also be falsifying the patient care record by reporting that tasks that you never performed for the patient, since your friend actually performed these tasks. You are abandoning the patient, breaking HIPAA laws, and violating Department of Health regulations by having unauthorized individuals working in the patient's home. Case study 4. Your patient becomes ill and is taken to the emergency room and subsequently admitted to the hospital. Your patient says she needs you to stop at her house tomorrow morning to pick up her things and bring them to her in the hospital. What should you do? The answer is you cannot continue servicing this patient because she is no longer a patient at Allen Healthcare, but she's now a patient at the hospital. You cannot go to this patient's home the next day or any other day, as you could be arrested for unlawful entry. You cannot call in or call out from this patient's telephone or submit a timesheet for the day this patient's hospitalized. That would be fraud. You should call your Allen coordinator to report that the patient is hospitalized and request a new client to service. I think the bottom line for all of these scenarios is to call your coordinator about every situation that comes up. And keep these in mind because these are situations that I have seen as compliance officer frequently. You don't want to be coming to see me to resolve a case of potential fraud. I wish you good luck at Allen Healthcare and help us maintain our excellent reputation by following the law and maintaining compliance. Thank you.